What does it take to break into the Scrum Master job market in 2024? It's another exciting day with the Scrum chat room. And today we want to have that conversation. We want to talk with you. We want to share with you what is happening in the Scrum job market. But most importantly, we also want to answer your question, the questions you have about the current job market. And today I have a very special guest all the way from Illinois. And Coach Catherine is going to be joining me on the show today to have an amazing discussion for today. Hello, Coach Catherine. How are you doing today?
Hi, Doug. Good afternoon. Good evening, everyone. I'm doing great, Doug. Thank you. It's a good day, another great day to come share and learn from the audience.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us today. And we are going to be having quite a great conversation. But before we get into our opening question to start talking about what is the current job market, what are some of the changes that are happening, and what you can do to break in, we want you to let us know where you are joining us from. Just share in the comment section where you're joining in from so we can give you a shout out. And also, make sure you have all your questions ready. Today, we're not just having a general discussion, we are going to be taking all of your questions and also share with us what you've been doing, what is not working, so that we can also share with you what we have been doing and what is working. So, Odunayo from Nigeria, hello. Thanks for joining us today. And please don't forget to like and share so that we can have a really great conversation. One of the reasons why it's important to like and share, you might have someone come on board and ask a question you were not even expecting. All right, so let's go straight into our first question for today. And our first question is going to be tailored around the Scrum job market in 2024. We're in the second half, and for those who have been actively applying, you will kind of agree with me that the first half has been a bit slow, and many people kind of think like, okay, you know what? What am I doing wrong? Is there something I'm not doing right? Why am I not having interviews as I used to? Or what can I do to break into the job market? And we were kind of opportune to have a very interactive conversation with some recruiters in the market to kind of also understand from their own side what is happening in the job market. But then, before we kind of bring Coach K to give her point of view, one of the good news is that I think the market is looking promising currently. So if you were kind of sleeping and thinking that, oh, everything is on the dead end, then you need to wake up right now because it's time to kind of bounce back in. But then, Coach K, the first question for which I like us to start with today is what is happening in the Scrum job market? What has been your observation so far for the first half of the year?
Thank you for that question, Doug. So for the first half of the year, I would say the job market was a little slow, but in some states, but for example, in my state, there have been a lot of jobs opening. I see a lot of company even around my house going agile. So to the best of my knowledge, it's as though most of their clients now want their projects to they want their project to be run using the agile product delivery method. So yeah, but and again, one other thing I've observed is one, it was slow during the first half of the year, but it's gradually picking up, especially in the month of May and June. It has picked up a lot. I see a lot of recruiters reaching out to people in our community, a lot of recruiters reaching out to me. And the other changes I've observed is most jobs now they want people to come online. I'm sorry, on site. It's either on
Okay.
site 5 days a week or hybrid 3 days a week. So there are very few, but there are still remote jobs, but there are really few. So most clients want candidates to come on site. Even interviews now have moved from virtual to on site interviews. So those are few observations I've had during the first half of the year regarding the Scrum job and the Scrum market.
Yes, I think I will agree with you about the. We have a lot of hybrid now, and
Mhm.
most people also requiring you to be full time on site as well. But
Mhm.
then one of the things I've also noticed is that the pay rate has dropped drastically.
Yes.
What do you have to say about that?
Yes, so that's a first base true, dog. It's ridiculous. I remember one time a recruiter called me and she was like, "Oh, I have this job. Are you looking?" I said no, but again, and then I reached out to her. I'm like, "Yeah," because I just wanted to see how the job market is and to see what Rachel was going to offer.
Yeah.
And she was like, she said, "It's for a junior Scrum Master role, and we are offering $20 an hour." So
What?
I was like, "Is it for babysitting? Like, what job again?"
That was a good question.
Yeah, I asked her, no, I just want to know then I'm not the right candidate. And I told her, thank you and bye. So it has dropped a lot. And it doesn't matter if you have not had like first-hand experience. If you belong
Yeah,
to a community where you have hands-on experience, know your worth and don't go for anything below 50. 45, it's manageable, but 50 and above, know your worth, because sometimes when we just want to get our feet wet, we become so desperate and we go below like the base price. So please
that's right.
study, invest in yourself so that when they call you, and even though you have not had like first hand experience, when they call you and they offer something like $20, 30, 40, 45, you'll say no because you know how much you know. So please know your worth and just continue learning, especially those in our community. There's a lot of great candidates in our community. They don't have first hand experience, but they have a good experience, good knowledge on agile, the best practices, the principles, and even the tools. So just know your
Yeah.
worth and just continue learning. Be consistent.
Yes, and what I can also say, Coach Kate, is that the reason why, in general, that's what we see when they reach out, right? But in general, the market standard has not dropped. So what is happening is that a lot of people are desperate, right? Because we have many people doing Scrum now. A lot of people are desperate to accept almost anything. I remember a few weeks ago, a recruiter reached out to me, like, "Oh, we have an agile coach role," and I'm like, "Okay, great. What are you offering?" It's like $45 an hour. I was like, wait a minute. Do you really want someone to coach your team, or are you looking for someone that will just come in and see the role, right? And we were having this conversation, and it's like, okay, what's the minimum that you go, right? It's like, what the minimum that you go? I was like, okay, you have 45, but I will not go for anything less than 90. And guess what? At the end of that session, at the end of that call, we kind of ended very close to what I was asking. Now, what's the difference, especially when we're looking into the job market and looking into negotiating? What is actually the difference? The difference is that many people are not investing in themselves, so they are going for whatsoever the recruiters are going. Right. So the recruiters know that, okay, if I call Catherine and Catherine is not there, what will happen is that I'll call someone else and they'll accept for that $30. Why? Because they kind of really desperate. They want to accept everything. So one of the things I encourage if you're in the market is that you want to know your what. You want to know sometimes also the reason they offer very low is because many people are not investing in themselves. So even when they talk, they realize that, oh, this person is just struggling. And with all due respect to all our recruiters out there, they always want to keep the bigger part of the money. Just imagine I get you, you're working for my client, I'm paying you $40 an hour. My client is paying me $130 an hour. Right. So I'm at the beach just browsing. And then you're working for both of us. Now it's very important, but then not that they want to do that, but they want to pay you based on your work. It's very important to invest in yourself. It's very important to do what you need to do. Sometime when they hear you speak, they're like, okay, let me talk to my manager and see what we can do. Right. And that brings us to the next question, which is about preparing yourself for the market. One of the things which is missing is that many people want to get ready when they have an interview. Many people want to get ready because when they have a call. I often hear people say that, oh, you know what, I've been applying and I don't even have a call. I was like, okay, let's check to see if you're ready before work on the call. And when you ask them one, two, three questions, like, oh, I still need to revise that. But I believe if I have a call today, I will take some time. Now, you see that mindset. So, one of the emphasis or one of the things we want to talk about today is about building the right mindset for the Scrum market. And I'll have Coach Catherine share her experience on how she was able to build her mindset towards her first position and how that actually helped her. And I'm also going to share what I did prior to my first position and how and what I did even after and how that has helped me become who I am today. And Coach Catherine, you have the floor. Tell us what are
Okay.
some of the things that anybody who is interested, not interested, serious about getting a Scrum Master job, what should they be doing?
All right. Thank you, Doug. Thank you for that question. So, to the Scrum, getting the Scrum job is not very easy. Some like people's first of all, you need to understand that people's journeys are different. Some people would just get certifications, get into a community, a month later they get a job. So first off, you need to understand people have like first of all you need to have your why, like okay, why am I doing this? And then second of all, you need to understand that people have different timelines. God blesses people during their own time. So don't say, oh, because you work for A, in 2 months that will be the same timeline for me. So you need to understand that first. And then you need to understand that as a scrum master, the most important skill we should have, or the most like what we should take into consideration, is scrum master job. If you're becoming a scrum master, it means you want to be a long life learner. You need to learn every day. There's no break. When you get certifications, you learn the tools and everything in between. But and the real learning begins when you get a job. So you need to do a lot of self learning. You need to have belong to a community of practice. You need to have friends that you study with. You need to have accountability partners. That's what worked for me. I made sure I learned. I saw people who were very hungry, like I was.
Mhm.
I became friends with them. I started studying together back to back. I remember even on Christmas Day that year, we studied.
Mm,
We said to ourselves, we've been eating rice and chicken. It has not done anything for us. We'd rather study. So we cooked for our families, and in the evening we met and we studied. And then do a lot of hot seats. Get ready before you get an interview.
yeah.
Don't wait for recruiters to call. Then you say, "Oh, I need to study this. I need to know." So you need to be ready at all times. If they wake you in the middle of the night, you need to be ready to speak Scrum, and then implement Scrum to your daily life. On my fridge, I have a Kanban board. I have my to do, in progress, and done. So whatever chores I'm doing daily, I have it on my Kanban board. Whatever I'm doing, like let's say if I want to cook, do laundry, I'll put those in progress. When it's done, I move it to done. So you need like Scrum or the agile frameworks are things that we do daily, but we don't just know this is Scrum, this is Kanban. So just incorporate it into your daily lives. It's gonna make it so easy, and when you go for interviews, you'll be able to speak to it, and you can bring these little examples to just tell the interviewers that okay, I know what I'm saying. And then you need to work on your personality, work on your mindset, work on mental toughness, because when you're doing your practice interviews, they'll give you feedback. The way you take feedbacks to either make you to grow or to diminish. So you
That's
need to learn to have this tough mindset and understand that feedbacks are a way of for you to grow, because feedback will help you know, okay, I'm lacking in this area and I'm going to improve some, I need to improve in these areas, because agile is all about continuous learning and continuous improvement. So if you're not able to learn every day, if you're not able to get feedback so you can improve on areas where you're lacking, then you're not fit to be a scrum master. So just building this mindset, being around people that have good energy, people that will push you to grow, And when you're around people that are, let's say, smarter than you or know more than you, don't be jealous or don't take that as a problem. That's a blessing to you because you learn from them and then you also
That's right.
share your knowledge with them. And another thing you should know is you can learn from everyone. You can learn from somebody who just started learning Scrum on the
Yesterday.
day one. Yes, don't think that, oh, I know too much. No, I still learn from new people and I learn from people that have also been in the field. And as a Scrum Master, one very important thing, though, is you need a mentor.
That's right.
Doesn't matter how long you've been on this field, you need a mentor. You need somebody that you always learn from, and you also need a community of practice to keep updating your skills and to also learn from them and take them to your environment and just implement and shine in your environment. So those are the things I did, though. But I feel like the most important one, the right mindset, accountability partner, lifelong learning, and then
Mhm.
feedback. Be open to feedback because you need to continuously grow your skill and you need to continuously learn. And that's what Agile is all about. So those are the things I did that really helped me. And it's still helping me because I'm still doing all of those because consistency too in everything we do in the Scrum journey, especially after getting the job, that's what is going to keep you in the job.
All right. Coach Catherine, I have a question for you. A lot of people feel like now I have a job, so I will learn on the job. Why would I need to be in a community of practice, or why would I still need to get a coach or a mentor when I have a job? What's your take on that?
If you have the mindset, then that's the beginning of your failure. You fail big time because when you get a job, okay, good, you've gotten the job. You need to now when you're, let's say you're learning from your job, there are a lot of other things out there that you don't know. So belonging to a community, you have different people sharing different experiences. You're picking those experiences. They share different styles or things they've implemented with their team that's working for them. You can also take that to your team and implement, and then it works for you. And then on the job, there are times when you have challenges. You might even reach out to other Scrum Masters or people at the company, and they're not able to resolve it. What do? You need a mentor because a mentor just helps to fuel your energy. There are times where you feel like, oh, I'm lacking here, or I feel like giving up. Your mentor is just there to guide you. It's not like he's not coaching you. Oh, you already know you're a master, but your mentor is there to guide you and to make sure you're efficient. You keep being efficient in what you do. Make sure you're consistent. Make sure if there are any new skills, your mentor feel like, oh, there's this certification you can take to upgrade your skills or you to upgrade your profile. Your mentor is going to tell you all of that, and even people in your community. But if you feel like, oh, I have a job now, I can be an island, I can study on my own, that's the beginning of failure. And a lot of people, a lot of scrum masters that don't belong to a community, with all due respect, it's always hard for them to get another role once their contract ends. I've seen that in so many cases. So belonging to a community just give you like diverse knowledge from different environments and a lot of good tips to implement in your team that will help the teams to improve or become high performing, and that will also help you shine as a scrum master.
Well, thank you very much for sharing. And I do agree with that. I remember one of the sessions we had recently where was um, what we had on the JQL, right?
Yes, of
The
powerful
training on the
training.
JQL. Yeah,
Yes,
powerful training on JQL from one of our fellow Scrum Master working in another company, and they were very big on JQL, and he could be able to just kind of break down JQL into a simple way that even someone that has never been in Scrum can just master it and pull along with it. Right. So it's outstanding. Now, actually, you said something very profound, Coach Catherine, that um, those who are not in a community obviously will take a longer time to learn a role compared to those who are in a community.
yes,
And this is the reason. In For instance, if you take the Rider Agility community, we have, let's say, actively more than 50 working Scrum Masters there. Now they are in a session. These are 50 companies in one spot, and you're having a 1 hour, 2 hours conversation. What you can learn in that session is by far, if what you will learn the next 5 years in your company, it's nothing compared to that.
sure.
Well, and you're having this session like over and over and over again. So when you get to have a conversation, especially when you're in an interview, you can bring up scenarios from what you learn from other people to share with your environment. And sometimes I remember when people are going through maybe challenges at their work, and someone would just like, oh, I went through this and this is what I
Yes.
did, and this is how um,
We got
we
it resolved.
ended up
Yes.
with it, and it's quite amazing, right?
Mhm.
So that is one of the reason why we talk a lot about community of practice. And I'm going to share my own aspect on what I think is the most important. Now, one of the reason why I became a very big fan of masterminds and community of practice kind of dash back into 2017, 2018, when I was writing a book, um, Skyrocket to Business Zero Cost. I've been working on this book since about 2015. So for about 3 years, I've been trying to write this book, and the book was like it would take forever to get finished. And then I think I was going through a YouTube ad, and I saw someone's like, "Oh, you can write and publish a book in 90 days." I was like, "No way!" So I took my chances to talk to the coach. I was like, "Okay, you know what? I want you to coach me." Now, in less than 90 days, I had that book published. Now, this is something I've been working on. Not that I did not know what to write, like the procrastination, but now I was in a group with about 18 other people who were also working towards the book. And every week when we come, they share, oh, this is what I work on, this was my approach, this was my style. And trust me, I did not even meet with the main coach. We had like a Facebook closed group chat where we'll go in there, everybody will drop a conversation, people will post picture where they're sitting and writing their books, and like now learning that alone, I think today I've written more than 5 books, right? What if I did not get into a community and I started struggling on my own? I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. So, what I do in order to prepare myself into the market, or to always be ready at any time if somebody called me, I can talk as if I was preparing for that interview all day long. Number one is that I learn from everybody. Right. When I'm not the main person leading in my community, I'm there. I'm not saying, oh, you know what? Since I'm the boss, I don't need. No, you learn from everybody. You need to have that open mindset of learning. Secondly, I invest in myself. And currently, I'm in a coaching program for those who understand the International Coaching Foundation, which is more like just mastering the all the skills for coaching. Now, if you don't grow yourself, you realize that your knowledge become limited, and those who listen to you, they will stop listening to you because you keep sharing the same thing over and over again. It kind of is boring. We want to hear new stuff, right? So, how are you investing in new knowledge? Take certifications before you need them. Right. Before I ever had my first Agile coach job, I've taken Agile coach certification, SPC certification, Agile enterprise certification. So I was ready before the job came. So these are powerful strategy that you can leverage, or how you can build your mind to stay strong and then be ready. I remember one of our coaches share how he had an interview, and within the first 10 minutes it's like, you know what, stop, we found the person that we needed. And now what was different, this person has been practicing for more than close to 7 8 months, right? And they've not even had an opportunity to interview. For many people, they will give up, like, oh, you know what, it's been 3 months, nobody's calling me, I think let me go try something else. But because this person understood what they needed, they have been practicing over and over. The day they had the opportunity, within 10 minutes, like, this is the person we want. And the next thing they did was that what? They offered to pay them a ticket to fly in just to come on site and talk to the developer, see if they like to work here. And that was like, who would do that? Now, this is what happened when you prepare the mindset for the job. Okay, now the next part we want to talk about, preparing the mindset. And after this, we're going to switch to questioning. So prepare your questions, the questions that you want us to discuss, you want us to answer. We want to take time to discuss this question. All right. So the next aspect, which so many people ignore, and I want us to address it a bit, which is going to help so many people, it's about how you see yourself, what you talk about yourself, and how you see the job market. And Coach Catherine, tell us a bit about that. How should people
Yeah.
see themselves? Talk
All
to
right.
talk
Thank you, Doug. So
to market.
that's a very Doug, that's a powerful question because sometimes the only person limiting us sometimes is ourselves, like, and
That's
that's
right.
our mind because everything you will become in life starts from the mind.
That's right.
If you think, oh, I'm a poor person, guess what? Everything you project will be poverty. But
Mm,
if you think, oh, I'm rich, that's what you're going to attract. You attract rich people, and when you've attracted those rich people, you understand what they do to make wealth. So it starts from the mind. What do you think about yourself? Do you think you're good enough for this job, or do you think, oh, I'm far fetched, I cannot get this job because it's a six-figure job, this is beyond my reach? So all those little things matter. The way, what do you say to yourself when you wake up in the morning? What do you say to yourself? If you encounter challenges, what do you say to it? Do you say, oh, I got this, or overcome this, or face bigger challenges and I walk through them? So just have that mindset of, I'll either win or I win. There's no two way. So we should have the mindset of a winner. What does a winner do? You need to consistently do what you need to do to win. If it means waking up early at 6, doing your morning devotion, exercising, planning your day or your week on Saturdays,
mhm,
you should do that, especially as Scrum Masters. We have 2 week sprint. You could plan yours for a 1 week sprint. Plan on Monday and then on Friday. Sorry, plan on Saturday and then Friday you have a retrospective. You start your
mhm.
next sprint on Saturday. So we need to do this. Speak words of affirmation to yourself. I am great. I can do this. I will study. Make your study plan. Make your roadmap. For this week, I'll study Scrum event. For this week, Agile principles. Next week, Agile values. So you need to plan all of these. But everything starts with the mind. How do I see myself? What do I think of me? And in doing this, like when you start having this mindset, when some if you're not saying these things to yourself, or you don't feel good about yourself, or you don't feel like you're good enough, I want to start practicing it now. Sometimes you need to step back from some people. Like Doc always say, you need to step back. There are people that portray negative energy. There are people that don't want to see you grow. There are people that will even tell you, oh, you cannot do this. There's no way you can get there. Yeah, forget about this. Those people, you need to cut off from them.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and your the people you surround yourself with, they're a reflection of who you are. I'm so proud of myself because my friends and I, positive energy only. If you come with a negative energy, you cannot even stay around us. So Doug
Right.
always tell us, be so positive that negative people will be scared to come close to you. And that's the mindset my friends and I have built, and it's working for us. So start with baby steps. Plan your
Mhm,
week. What do I do in the morning? Don't look at your phone. And another thing I did, Doug, was I left all social media platforms. And to date, I don't feel like I'm losing anything. If I
mm.
want to join in 5 years' time, it will still be there for me.
Wow.
And Doug said something that was powerful. If social media is not making me money, I'm not going back. The only reason I'm coming back to social media is to just share my knowledge on Scrum, our community, so I can get monetized. If it's not bringing me money, then I'm not going to join.
I like that mindset. It has to bring the money, right?
Yes, so
Yeah.
yes, and again, do all of this, and then, like I always say, you need to do the six-figure work to get a six-figure job.
To get a
There's
six
no
figure.
way in between, no way in
That's right.
between.
That's right. And Coach Cotton, I just want to piggy from your last comment. Then I'm also going to make a um, kind of a contribution to the great uh, comment that Coach Ella also brought
Yes,
in here.
yeah,
Now, social media has so much power, and most often we we don't see the need of it. Right now, for you to become someone who is outstanding, right? Even if you're applying for the Scrum Market job now, you're not getting a job, and you keep on building yourself, you keep on sharing on LinkedIn.
yeah,
Look, one day someone is gonna stumble upon you and like, you know what? we have a director of agile position. When I look at your profile, I think you're the best fit. Let's have a
Hmm.
conversation.
Sure,
Right.
Doc.
Why? Because you're able to build yourself. Right. So in social media, you should, it's something, and LinkedIn most specifically. Right. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, they are good, but for a different brand, right? If
Yes.
you do like, if you're into like network marketing, if you're into like, let's say,
Content creation.
yeah,
Yeah.
content creation or so, you can leverage that. But you need to understand what is your drive, right? And also what takes your time. Yeah. So very important because that's one of the most distracting too.
Yes, Doc.
Now coming back to building the right people around you, it's about creating an opportunity to push people, to have people that can push you grow. Right. Now the comment that is displayed on the screen say, I think a lot of people underestimate the world of knowledge that is in agile community. I remember yesterday we're having our agile coaches mastermind, and there was a question that we all had like a really good time.
Yeah.
How do you coach someone that says, I don't need coaching, right? You're an agile coach within your company, and then your manager say, okay, look, I need you to go coach Catherine because Catherine is in team B and I think Catherine need coaching. And you go to Catherine, Catherine say, no, I don't need coaching. I don't need your help. So I don't need coaching. Now, how do you handle such situation? Right. And this is a very powerful question. And sometimes as coaches, we just kind of dive in and feel like everybody needs to be coach, everybody needs to be coach. Yeah. But that got us to learn uh, what we call the coaching arc and what are some of the foundation to even start coaching people, diving into that exploratory manner, making people your friend. There was so much knowledge that was shared within that 1 hour session, and I went back like, wow. And we have people sharing, oh, this is what we do in our company, this is the strategy we have. You go back like, if you're having a conversation with the next person, they'll feel like you've worked for the next 20 years.
Sure.
But that's true because you're combining the experience of 6, 7, 8 people they have shared within a 1 hour session, and you're able to talk so much in such a way that people like, wow, where did you get all of this from? Now that's the power of mastermind. That's the power of community. That I talk
Sure.
to people a lot. It's like, you know what, I'm already working and I've done this, so I don't really think I need coaching. I just want to figure out what I'm missing. It's like, what you're missing is that you're missing the bigger part of learning, which is masterminding. Now, what you know, it's kind of really minute.
Small.
And in the market, we are competing with people who are investing in themselves. In the market, you're competing with people who have been in the space for 26 years, 27 years. They know the in and out. So you must be able to do something different that when you speak, like, you know what, I think I like you. Can we have more conversation like this? So this is very, very, very important. Going back to your word, what you think about yourself and what you say is very important. When I talk to a lot of people, the first thing they say is that, oh, the market is very challenging. I'm just trying to see if something come up. I've done everything possible. It's like the reason you're not seeing result most often is the way you're talking. The reason you're not seeing result is because you think the market is so competitive that it takes so much to get a job. We have one of our student who recently just had a job about 2 weeks ago, and I remember he came to me the first day when he started applying. It's like I went to LinkedIn. A job was posted up like in less than 24 hours, and they have 500 applications. How am I going to get a job? Like, how do I survive when we have 500 people applying for the same position in less than 2 hours? Like, what about you, the only person that their resume gets selected? They need just one person. They don't need 500 people. What about you're the only person who will be singled out Today they have a federal job. Like, okay, that gives me courage. Now they started seeing themselves differently. One of the things we do a lot is training people how to think. And this is the least people do when they're looking for a job. I just want to apply, then they get burnt out. But they don't understand that the way you think, the way you look at the market, the way you encourage yourself, the way you tell yourself, even if there are 1,000 applications, as I'm putting my application in there, I'm going to be the only one who gets selected. All of that translate to keep you motivated and to find the right energy through the market. All right, perfect. So while we're having our next question, we want to open up the last part of the session for open Q&A. Now, I know a lot of people have been interviewing. I know you're having questions as like, oh, I wasn't expecting this question. I know you're going through maybe some interview. You're thinking, oh, this was very technical. This is also the moment we can help you answer some of those questions that you've been going through. Or you just need advice. This is time. Drop those comment in the questions in the comment section. Let's have a conversation about it. It can be from any angle. It can be a Scrum question, an RT question, Agile coach question, Enterprise coach question. Just drop it there. If we can answer it, we have a lot of other coaches on the line who will be able to send in their contribution. So don't bother about asking difficult questions. We are here for the question. Now, our next point of view is about uh, what people, we're getting towards the second half of the year. What do you think an average person or someone that's on the job should do differently, or what can they do differently in order to fast track their next job? Considering, okay, I'm complaining to you because Catherine, look, I've been applying. I send in about 200 application every day, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong, and I really need this job. Please, I need your help.
Okay, Doc. All right. First off, let's look at your resume. I've seen people whose resumes and LinkedIn are contradicting. Like positions on your resume doesn't match what's on your LinkedIn. So you
Okay.
need to make sure the informations are not conflicting. That's the first thing. And then how do you apply? Like you said, right? When you want to put an application in and you see like 600, 700, what do you say? People will be like, oh, I already see 600. So when you see those 600, be like, okay, I know there are 600 applicants already, but they're going to pick my own resume. Because like the energy you give out with your
Yeah.
resume is going to open doors for you. It's going to make way for you. So like Doc said, just think about that. Have a good energy. You can even say a prayer before you apply. And that's why people be like, just say a prayer and then apply and speak to your resume. Like, okay, I'm sending you out there and they must call me. Because if you've been applying and you're not getting calls or you're not getting the result, it means you're not doing everything. Because some people will be like, I've done everything. No. You need to look at, okay, this is where a mentor or a coach comes in. Because if you sit down with a coach, they'll ask you those powerful questions. Okay, let's look at your LinkedIn, let's look at your resume, let's look at your dice. Something must be lacking. Maybe you need more certifications. You need to learn more tools so you can add them on your resume. You need to go through your resume and check. There might be errors that remember the recruiter told us sometimes when they scan your resume and they see those red lines, that's a red flag. They'll be like, okay,
That's
this
right.
person is not serious because you cannot even write a proper resume. You cannot even check for these errors on your resume. They just put that aside. So if you're watching this, go back on your resume. Make sure you the no spelling error. Make sure if you're scanning yourself, there are no those red lines will not appear. And just take more certifications. Learn. There are a lot of free courses on LinkedIn. Do those learnings. Add that on your resume. Add that on your LinkedIn.
Hmm.
But if you're not getting the results, something must be lacking. That's why you need a coach, you need a mentor, you need a community, you need hands-on experience because this will just set you apart. I feel like when you're ready, you have all these experiences, hands-on experience, like that alone is enough good energy to just attract recruiters to you. But sometimes recruiters are not calling you because you feel like you're ready, but you're not ready. When
Mm,
you speak, it doesn't come out right
that's right.
because God sees our heart, He sees our effort, and God is like, no, if I give you now, you're going to ruin it. I'm forming you. I'm just preparing you. Just keep learning, keep becoming the person that want to get this job. So sometimes if you're not getting it, it means God has seen that you're not ready.
Mm,
Check. Maybe I'm missing the tools part. Maybe I don't know how to book meetings. Maybe I'm lacking on this area. Just look at the areas where you're lacking and then learn that, and you see your job will come. But don't give up. The good news is don't give up. Everyone, there's a job out there for everyone. And don't be picky, dog. Some people are like, oh, because I'm new, I don't want on site, I don't want hybrid. No. When you go on site, no one will come and sit by you to see what you're doing. That's there. I don't know. Some people feel like, oh, maybe your manager will come and sit by you. No, you sit is independently and do your work on your own.
yeah,
So don't be scared to go on site. If you see on site jobs, it's okay. Apply to everything on site, hybrid, and remote. Just apply to everything. Because if you're choosing just remote, you're already limiting yourself. So be open to all. When you get this job, just come to a community and get those hands on experience. So you'll not be scared to say, oh, okay, I don't want to apply for on site or hybrid. When you have your hands on experience, there's no way you know go for remote or hybrid jobs.
yeah.
So go for everything, apply for everything, and do your part. You'll get the result.
Yeah, and Coach Catherine, I just want to add there that the mistake many people do, and I've seen many people lost their job because of this mistake, is they're like, when I have a job, I'm going to look for someone, a community, then the community will help me.
No,
So you have an offer, you're starting in the next 3 weeks, and you want to learn everything within 3 weeks. You get confused, you
you
get
get
panicked.
confused.
I
Yeah.
had I had someone, they had a job, right, and it was on site. And now their manager asked them to do something on the Scrum board, right? To do something on the Scrum board to actually format the Scrum board and work on the stuff. And for some reason, I don't know what happened. They did not do that, and even when they went home, they called a couple of people, and I heard the story after they lost their job. So, yeah, and now the manager was like, this is one click, this is 1 2 click. The next day it's like, oh, have you done this? Like, no. So he stood behind me. Can you do this? Can you
Oh
do it
my
right now?
God.
Like so
Oh,
I'm like,
that's.
you spoke about walking on site. Don't be afraid.
Um,
The reason people are afraid is because they're not confident about. They don't even understand how to manipulate their tax box and their tax box and all of that, right? And this is why we talk about community every day, every day. And yesterday we're having a leadership, and I was asking, I said, how much would you? How much money would you put on this conversation? And Coach Catherine just shared some really nugget on how to leverage your mentor, the way you think, and to get a job. Now, let's assume that you pick out one of her advice and implemented it, and the next day you get a job. Would you say her advice is cost $500, $1,000, $10,000? Now, this is a piece of advice within 1 minute has been able to create an opportunity that changes the rest of your life. This is where a lot of people make a mistake by putting, oh, this is expensive. When it comes to knowledge, it's priceless.
sure.
If you get everything for free, trust me, you will not value it. And we have seen that over and over and over and over again. So it's very imperative for you to join a community of practice. If you're joining us, please make sure you hit that like button, make sure you subscribe, make sure you're sharing, and also make sure you drop a comment so that we know that you are watching. And most often, it's also very important when I see someone that has been watching, has been commenting, when they reach out, you're like, oh, wow, I know this person, right? The conversation is
Hmm.
always different. So,
Yeah,
very,
true.
very important. And at the end of when I do live sessions like this, one of the things I do is those who watch it, I always create an opportunity to give you free 30-minute coaching. Book it only when you need it. All right. Send me a text. I was in your live program and we spoke about 30-minute free coaching. And then the very few spot left, right? I'll try as much as possible to get people that watch and follow. The reason I do that is because they're enlightened, they understand what they're doing. So when you sit down with them, you can help them go through the right direction. All right, so let's take our first question for today, Coach Catherine. And if you have your questions, it's time to put them in. We want to start answering this question. So, how many stories is ideal to work on per sprint to avoid burnout among developer? Coach Catherine, can you take that question for us?
Okay, Doug. So this I'll need to ask like a lot of follow up questions. So how many stories ideal? Okay. First of all, I need to know how many developers do you have in your team and how many testers do you have, because you don't want to, let's say you have four developers. You don't then two testers. You don't want to pick up a lot of stories, because even though the developers will finish their work on time, the QAs will be overwhelmed with testing. So what will guide us to is capacity. So our capacity will guide us to know, okay, how much can we pick up for this sprint? Because let's say we have six developers, and some of them are out for like a day or two, or they're involved in other teams. We need to take all of that into consideration. So it will depend on the number of developers, testers, and the capacity for each sprint. So you need to have a conversation with your team to take just as much as they can complete at the end of the
Okay.
sprint, taking into consideration buffer two for maybe scope changes or scope creep.
All right, thank you. So just to add to that, Caroline, averagely a developer will be taking
Six,
about
yeah,
six
six
to
story
eight story
point.
point in the
Yes.
sprint.
Mm-hmm.
So
Per
let's say if you
developer.
have five developers, six times five, that's
Mm-hmm.
going to give you about 30 story point. Now that also depend on the level of performance of your developers as well. They might still take less. So as you are moving close to, or as you're working with them, you try to now start balancing the number of story point they can take based on your average velocity. But by default, Scrum advice give about 8 story point per
It's story.
developer. So if
Yes.
you have like five developer multiplied by five, that will give you an average of what they can do in a sprint. All right, and the next question is from Matthew. Matthew says, recently PSM certified. Would it be advantageous to get a PMP certification as well? Matthew, my advice for you is if you are really kind of drawn towards the agile career, you want to keep the PMP a bit more later, I'll advise do a safe Scrum Master certification. That is going to be really help you a lot. And if you want to also kind of push a bit more through into the market, you can do a Kanban certification as well, or you can even take an agile coach certification, but you should take those added certification when you're practicing. I
Mm-hmm.
see a lot of people they kind of take about six, seven certifications from one certification to another. When you have one certification, the next thing is that join a community of practice. And I want to talk a bit about a community of practice here. I spoke to someone earlier this morning from the UK, and they had a very misconception about community of practice. Now they feel like a community of practice is where today we come and teach, okay, let's teach about the role of a scrum master. Tomorrow we come and teach, let's teach about maybe how to facilitate meetings. No, that's not the concept of a community of practice. Now, the way we run our community of practice is everything you need to learn, we already build that in a study center. It's self-learning. We leverage what we call masterminds, which is everybody come together and we're talking as professional. So we want you to talk. We don't want to teach. It's not a place where we teach you. It's a place where we learn together. And most often, you might not really understand what the practice is. But let's say Coach Catherine asks a question, and then someone else is asking, answering the question. Just by observing, just by participating, you are learning, right? Many people are actually participating and listening to us online. Not everybody knows understand a question, but then Caroline just asked a question. We answer the question. Everybody that's participating have learned something new, right? So a community of practice pushes you to open up, and then not just that, it's not a question and answer. You also ask question, and then you try to vocalize it, because sometimes we feel like we know a lot until when we open our mouth to speak, and then nothing comes out. It's like, okay, I thought so. It's also an opportunity for you to start vocalizing and practicing it, it's very, very important. So my advice is get another agile certification like save and then take it from there. And we have this powerful comment from Coach Nicole. Being part of a community enhance your confidence in a level where you feel like you can do any role in your agile journey. Very, very
So
true.
true. Hmm.
Yes. So, and Eden says, do you welcome UK? Yes, we have
Yes, a lot of them.
UK, a lot of UK folks in our team. So yes, we welcome people from the UK, and I think it favors the UK team a whole lot because most of the sessions are in the evening and they're well rested and they can fully participate like what we are having now. All right, so those are the main questions that came in today. I'm hoping we probably will take about one or two more questions. If you have any question, feel free to drop it in the comment box now. But we are already putting our round, our closing hats. So we're going to move into the mode of closing. And Coach Catherine, most often, I think for people who have listened to me a lot, or you follow my YouTube, which if you have not, please do join us because I think weekly I'm putting out about three, at least three powerful videos. And some weeks I put about five videos, right? And this is a concept which I explain in a way that you will not really get them out there that way. Now, the concept of a Scrum Master job in 90 days. I wanna put you in a spot, right? And I want you to give someone that is like, you know what, I'm completely new to Agile. I don't even have a certification. What would be my outline for the next 90 days for me to get a job? What is going to be your advice on what I should do? What should I focus on first? And how can your community actually help me close this gap? What's going to be your advice?
Okay, Doc, thank you for that question. So, if first off, in our community, we do SAFE certification, the Scrum Master certification. So we have very powerful coaches that take those sessions. So you start with a certification class, get certified. If you join our communities, we have different levels. We have level one, which is made up of those who just had the certifications. And in level one, we have the portals where you do your self study to master the materials that you learned during your certifications. And then when you master the material, you take it and you pass the certification. The next step is you need to have an assessment. We just assess you to make sure you're ready to move to level two because level two is fast paced. Level two is where you have hands on experience, project groups. So we do the assessment in order to get you ready to move to level two. We don't want to throw people to level two and then you're lost because when you get to level two, it's fast paced. Nobody's holding your hand. You need to be ready to go to level two. I feel like some people do not understand the concept of why we do the assessment, but it's just to make sure we know, like, we assess your level of knowledge and see if you're ready to move to level two. Sometimes if we see that you're not ready, we'll let you know, okay, you need to stay maybe a month more in level one just to master the concept very well before moving to level two. Because level two, we do Jira, we do all, like, we do Azure DevOps, we do Confluence, we do projects, we have now we have project groups, and then we have level two masterminds, and then we also have a session where we just do the session we had yesterday, though, where we do just teach you how to think and just um how to
Leadership.
think and leadership. Yes, sorry, leadership sessions where we just teach you how to think as a leader. It's nothing Scrum wise because as a Scrum master you're a leader. So Doug does a great job teaching us how to think as leaders and how to build this powerful mindset. And then when you have a job, you move to level two, where we come together to share our knowledge, share different tools that we use in our different organizations, and just always be there for you when you have challenges at work. So this is the pathway. So certification, level one, level two, hands-on experience, projects, and then we also have a transition team. So when you're ready to start applying, the transition team comes out with your resume, we come out with project for you. So we have a very good plan. We very good plan. And if you do your own part, because we already have a good structure in the community, so if you do your own part, 90 days, you even have a job less than 90 days. So you just need to do your own part because you already have a good structure for you to follow. So if you do your part, consistent in learning, asking questions, speak out during masterminds and during hot seats, do interview prep, then less than 90 days you get multiple offers because we have a lot of people that have done that and they have multiple offers.
Thank you very much, Coach K. And we also have people who pay to do that and they're expecting result, right? So she just outlined like a powerful structure that we have at the Rather Agile community. And a lot of people ask me, so how are you going to guarantee me that, or how are you going to guarantee that I will have a job in 90 days? And the response I always give them is that if within the past 3 years, we've had more than 200 people have a job. If you go through the same process and you don't have a job, you are the problem.
Yes.
And if almost every week we are having people have jobs and are going through the same process, now your goal is to ask people who are going ahead, what are you doing differently? And this is where many people are missing in the process of their career. They've stuck in their corner and they do everything they try to do possible, but they don't open up themselves to get into a space where they can learn from those who are making it. They can take that advice, and most importantly, they can pay the price. Now, Coach Catherine just shared a bit earlier that she had to quit some of the social
Yes.
media to
I was,
focus to get
yeah.
the job. Right.
Mhm.
One of the person who had a job that was, I think, Coach Kate, not you, Solomon. She said,
So,
I,
Solomon.
I I had to play Scrum until my 4 years old. Can we can have a conversation about Scrum because it had to become part of my lifestyle. I went to bed with it. I wake up with it. It got to a point where immediately I got into the room where I was interviewing because she interviewed in person, and they're like, we've interviewed 10 people, but you're different, so we're hiring you. Right now, that's what it takes. That's the mindset it takes. It doesn't come by you thinking someone will do it for you.
Mm-mm.
It come by you putting in the work. It come by you asking the right question. One of the favorite thing I tell my students is that anything that you have not learned is an equation that you have not
You've not
asked.
asked.
So you're
Yes.
not, you might be listening to everything that we're saying here, but until you switch to asking powerful questions,
Mhm.
you think you know you, but you probably I don't know. All
Sure.
right, and Matthew say, where and how can I join your community? So Matthew, if you look on the screen, there's a number there. You can send a text message or WhatsApp message to that number. We'll send you how to schedule and time to talk with us as well. You can also send me a private message and it's like, I heard you talk about community of practice. I want to know what it takes, and we'll be able to share with you. But Catherine, any last word for our audience before we take
Uh,
away?
oh, yes, Doc. So if you listen to us, just remember you can do this and just be consistent in whatever you're doing, and you're definitely going to get the results. If you need to step away from your friends, you need to practice. I call it QPO, quality people only. If you need to do that, just do it. And sometimes you also need to start looking like what you want. If you look like what you want will look like you. So just do your part, pray, and remember, do the six-figure work to get a six-figure job.
Thank you. Do the six-figure work, you get the six-figure job. And trust me, and I know a lot of people have been listening to us and they have been procrastinating. Oh, I'm planning. Now, the day you stop planning, you start taking action. The more you plan, the more you push those days ahead. So, we want to invite you to join us, not because um, we want to see your face, because we want to see you succeed. Our goal is not just to have you in our community. Our goal is that we help you create the right mindset. The reason why we come on and share, and I want to give you back to our amazing coaches in the community for the great work that they are doing and just coming up to share what they have been learning, is because we want someone to be motivated and to take action. We're not here to just make you happy. We want you to take action. And next Thursday, we're going to be having Coach Ella. For those who are thinking about getting into an agile coach role, we're going to be talking more about another level of career in agile. I know a lot of people are more focused on scrum, but how do you move or grow in your career from scrum to an agile coach, from scrum to an ROTE, from scrum to an agile program manager, from scrum to portfolio manager? So we're going to be talking about other higher other higher opportunity in Scrum. So we probably might have a couple of multiple guests to have a roundtable interview. So take a rendezvous next Thursday. We're going to be back again just to share with you and to have that great time. Do have a great rest of your evening, your day, wherever you are connecting from.